Hey, Basket Brains, Kirby here, aka Darkwing Disc, and you think you're cool? Well, this is a little cooler. Alongside me this week is Ollie the Peanut, and Ollie, you want to know what sucks?
That was
Welcome to episode 61 of the K.O Disc Golf Show. Episode 61 is the Polywhirl episode. Famous players to wear the number 61. I really just found that it was Josh Beckett, and he only wore it for 6 years, kind of split up. Red Sox players wear the number 61. We got Bronson Arroyo and Clay Buchholz. Mariners players that wear the number 61, Matt McGill. And Ollie, you want to hit us with the Giants?
yes, sir. Few different Giants stints. The longest one being from 1966 to 1972. Charlie Harper would be the most accoladed and most glorified one. And then another fun one to mention, I think, would be Bob Cratch from 1989 to 1993. So there's our Giants
Nice.
61.
Very cool. Ollie, how you doing, man? How's everything going?
I'm good. Been getting to enjoy some of this nice weather. Got to play on the Switch 2, I was telling you, which is like very, very fun and exciting for me. Still, I think I'm like a year and a half out from getting one if I really really want one still. I was kind of against it, so that's cool. Went to a couple barbecues, which was awesome. You know, it's kind of getting to that summertime. You know, everyone wants to be outside and grilling, which it's fun to be there and fun to do that with some friends and just share that time. And yeah, been relaxing, been nice. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so as long as we're bringing props into it, might as well throw this guy up this week.
Woo!
We had a good weekend. I took down my first A tier. I won the Seatac Takeoff. Feels great, honestly. I play Seatac all the time, so I felt like I was kind of just coming home, you know. So I don't know, just kind of silly. My wife got this for me. It's actually a cooler, which is sweet. Check this out. Yeah.
And you wear it? And it has
Yeah,
a cool,
yeah. You
so
get
it's like a
it's
fanny
got like
pack.
a
It's
little
kind of like
thing.
a fanny pack. Oh my god, that is so fly.
It fits a full 6-pack. It says it's pretty deep in there. Right now, I just have I might
Full
open these later.
6-pack, so you got
Yeah,
at least 3 discs, so that's the next
dude, it fits.
challenge video bag.
It fits 3 perfectly.
That has to
Like
be it. Yep.
it's awesome. Yeah.
I love that. That's so fly.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's get right into the Seatac Takeoff recap. I mean, it was a really awesome weekend. I was really fortunate to have Fairway Media out there all 3 rounds, which was really, really cool. Playing with Kenny Clark, Chandler Kramer, Peter Fornia, round 1 was awesome. I haven't played with Kenny Clark he and I were talking about it. We literally could not remember the last time the two of us played together. So it was really, really cool. I love playing with him. He's such a good guy. Obviously everybody here, if you're watching this, you should know of Kenny Clark. He is like the SeaTac legend. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been so happy about getting to know Kenny better. Like literally, he's one of those guys I run up to and just give him a big hug, and I'm like, "What's up, Kenny?" And I love Kenny. Love Kenny.
Yeah, he's the man, and I miss seeing him play more tournaments and stuff like that. Like I love playing with him, so it was really, really cool getting to see him. Chandler Kramer came out and played in this event, so it was cool getting to see him for a round and play with him as well. Him and Kenny kind of going forehand for forehand was really, really crazy to watch. They both throw similar forehands while having very different games at the same time. Kenny throws so many forehand rollers that Chandler doesn't throw as many, at least. So really, I mean, watching them both like chalk up or cut up hole 8 at SeaTac, watching them throw that forehand like long kind of like late flip turnover with it was really cool. Same with hole 11, watching them just throw that like throw it out to the right and let it really like kind of dance across the fairway and that kind of thing. It was really cool.
I wonder if Chandler wasn't sure if forehand roller was the play on some of those things, and then sees Kenny or like understands like that is the play or something like that. Because when I forgot to mention, I did get a practice round in with Chandler on Thursday, and so it was cool to see some of his games and talk about like attacking some different holes and stuff like that. So that it's interesting to hear. On 8 he went forehand roller. Both them.
No, they both went forehand air shot. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But
okay.
just watching that, like the turnover and the way it was kind of
Okay.
getting up there, but Kenny's game is more forehand roller, so he would definitely bust those out a lot more frequently, and he was a lot quicker to kind of bust out the forehand roller.
Mm,
But just the two of them are awesome. And Peter
yeah,
Fournier, it's still his first year playing MPO, so I think the nerves on the front nine show, but his back nine was like lights out. Like
yeah.
he played those par fours super super well, and I even told him at the end of the round, I was like, hey, you cleaned it up really good, like nice job, kind of thing. So
Yeah, I'm excited to be seeing him and play more MPO this year. He messaged me after his round, and he was talking some trash. So I think he's someone that I'll be trying to be beating in the next few tournaments I see him at and stuff like that. But
okay,
awesome seeing him competing. But I always like a good little banter and a good little trash talk and stuff like that. So shout out Peter with that. And
oh yeah,
yeah, no,
yeah,
we'll be playing in some next ones and stuff and
yeah.
seeing trying to get your number.
Oh yeah, and yeah, Mrs. Fournier was out, and she's always
Oh,
super super nice. So
shout out to her.
shout out to her for sure. Um, Yeah, I mean, I was really fortunate to have I had the fucking goat Chuck Knutson on the bag the whole weekend, so it was so nice having him there and being able to be like, "Hey, man, I think I want to throw the backhand." He goes, "Are you sure it's not a forehand?" And I'm like, "I think it is a forehand." And I was kind of like needing him to kind of talk me in or out of a couple of shots, and he wasn't shy away from being like, I don't think that's the right play and stuff like that. Not being like, hey, that's not good, but being like, are you sure? You don't want to go over here. And then when I'm like, no, I want to go here, he goes, all right, yeah, you got it. And like kind of he pushed me in the right directions at the right times. He held me off at the right times. He kept me grounded at the right times. I really can't thank Chuck enough for like all of his efforts all weekend long, kind of thing. Even like it's so much more than just like playing the round of disc golf, to the point where like after the round he and I would go out and play a couple of holes that like on Friday we went and played the last couple of like we played 25, 26, 27 because I wanted to kind of feel those out a little better, and we talked about like what we want to do there, and he's throwing a couple of discs in my bag to kind of know like, oh, that splice is crazy overstable, and he's never thrown one, and like he's kind of getting to know my bag really well in the process. So it was more than just a round, it was everything afterwards, and that too that really helped
Hmm.
kind of make some of those decisions too with him. So I can't thank him enough, for everything this weekend. It was really awesome, just it was super cool of him to be out there with me and carrying the bag, and that helped alone too. Like that was, it was a hot weekend, so having somebody there carrying the bag, so I was able to kind of stay a little fresher, all weekend long, and not have that like extra weight on my back the whole time was so great, and just so so nice of him. Um, so yeah, round one, I kind of defined my round one with just like a bunch of bad shots. Actually, like when I got to the par fours, like I threw some like really just like poor shots. I hit like first tree available on probably like two or three different holes. Whether I was trying to be too aggressive or just like simply just throwing a bad shot kind of deal. I know specifically on like hole 22, I went to throw a forehand, and instead of getting it like up here, I threw it like here, and I hit the first tree and ricocheted right, and put myself in some danger. So there was really, and I had some shots that round too that were like incredible. Like hole 14, I threw just like an absolute frozen rope to under the basket, and I was 5 feet from the basket on 14 there, and yeah, it was just the perfect shot. So not all the shots that I had were like amazing that first round, but we had enough birdies to kind of make it onto lead card for day two. Um, Usually day two was kind of interesting. I went bogey free, which is always the goal, and I was really happy to go bogey free. um Day two, round two was definitely going to be the round that I thought I was going to struggle with the hardest. Typically, when I go to Seatac, I actually just play OG18 most of the time. I park in that little parking lot over by
Yeah.
six. I blast through. Takes me hour and a half to 2.5 hours maybe if I'm messing around and hanging out kind of thing. And then yeah, I come to the store, and that's kind of my usual mornings kind of thing. So round two was playing all the holes that I don't usually play, which is 1 through 5, 24 through 27. So going into that, I was like, if I'm gonna have a tough day, I think round two is gonna be my tough day, just because of some of the holes that I'm less familiar with. But going bogey free felt great.
Yeah.
Um, I missed hole 26 and hole 27 to finish the round, which was super frustrating because those are two holes that I feel like I have to get every time. 26 definitely kind of has my number at this point. Um, it's the hardest, easiest birdie like on the face of the planet. I
Yeah.
think if I were to break my stats down at Seatac and I were to look at expected birdie, like, to actual birdie, I think 26 is the hole that is my
Wow.
expected birdie rate should be really high. Then my actual birdie rate is like incredibly low. I never seem to get it. It's so,
Hmm.
so frustrating. I think I need to just go out there and camp out for a whole day and, just throw, 500 shots at it or something. So, um, but yeah, went bogey free that day. Maintained that day. Yeah, it's around one. Dallas Garber shot incredible. He shot I think 12 down, I believe it
Yep.
was.
Yep.
And the rest of us just kind of hung around, all being about the same. So going into round two, it was myself, it was Dallas, it was Asher, and it was Colin, all on lead card there. And fun fact about that card, nobody on that card was in their 20s. I just turned 35 last week, and all three of those guys are 17. So I was like, oh, like I literally
No
could.
driver's license? Is that the
Uh, I think Colin has his license. I think Asher has his license.
Okay, okay.
I feel like all of them have their license. I just don't
Okay,
know if
okay.
like I mean, none of them can like rent a car, like so round two, Asher was getting incredibly lucky. Like he was hitting trees and ricocheting off of them in the most perfect ways and then making really long putts. Like he was
Yeah.
scraping together just like a really incredible round. And I think it was like hole four, he hit a tree and then just ricocheted like right like straight. He hit that first tree in the gap and he ended up like hitting it and then like flaring up and out and hyzering out to the point where he was still like 30 feet, and we're like, man, I was joking with Chuck, I was like, he's not even old enough to go and buy a lottery ticket with how lucky he's
That's
getting,
funny. That's
so
fucking
yeah, like
funny.
so that's kind of where we're at for round two.
Yeah.
um Dallas was having a really tough round. He said he had some like forearm like nerve issue
Mm.
that was going on. And it showed. I mean, the rest of us, we caught him, stroke wise within 6, 7 holes. Um, I knew I was just trying to hang with all the guy, with all the kids, quote unquote, right? So there was a lot of jokes before the round about like me playing like daddy daycare, and I'm gonna go and like play. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna go and have to take on the baby brigade over here kind of thing. So a lot of fun. Everybody kind of was. It was like fun to kind of mess around with the
Yeah.
fact that I'm like literally twice your age,
That's funny.
all of them. So um yeah, Dallas was having a tough round. Everybody was kind of just like hanging and like keeping up with each other kind of deal, which was really nice. I mean, not for Dallas, obviously. It's tough go, but that's kind of the way the game is.
Hmm.
But yeah, so finish that round, missing 26 and 27. We go to round three, and we're starting on hole six because we're back to OG 18. And I told Chuck the night before, I was like, hey, I like me on OG 18 because I play it so much. And I told him, I was like, if I'm gonna have like a hot round, if I'm gonna have a really good round, I feel like I'm gonna put it together. Like personally, just feelings wise, I'm gonna put it together on OG 18 kind of thing. And I told him, I was like, if I just keep pace with myself through the front like 9, 10 holes, and I go, and if I just play the back like the par fours better than I did on Friday, I go, I think I got a really good shot at this thing. I was like, I gotta do that, I just gotta do everything we just said, so we get into it Sunday, and we start on hole six, which for me is a must birdie every time, and I didn't birdie it. So I'm now walking into hole seven being like, hey man, you just missed three straight birdies in this tournament, being 26, 27, and hole six. Like if you're gonna take this down, like you got to make up for that, and you got to start to find some birdies somewhere.
Yeah.
So I put my drive on hole seven, like just inside of the circle, and made the putt, and that kind of felt like a bonus. So
Inside
I
that
walked.
little tree there, yeah. What'd you
Yeah,
throw to get there? I was
I,
gonna
I
ask later, but
I throw an MD1. That's
yeah.
like my regular disc there. Yeah, I can't throw um anything faster because if I don't like hit it right and I end up like hyzering out, I kind of run risk of going into the street. And I don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
yeah, MD1. But yeah, so I hit, so, round three, I get inside the circle, I hit the putt, And I walk away, and we're walking to hole 8, and I look at Chuck, and I go, okay, um, back to keeping pace with myself from Friday. And he goes, that's right. Just, you got to get this next one too.
Yep.
So I go up and I got the next one, and I was like, okay, like we're,
Yep.
like we're doing good here, step him to hole 9. And both rounds on hole 9, I kept pulling my disc to the right. So I told him, I was like, Chuck, I'm going to take one step to the left. I was like, and instead of coming across the tee pad, I'm going to go straight up the tee pad. I was like, and that should line me up to hit the gap I want to hit. That's exactly what happened. I threw everything exactly how I wanted to, but my disc didn't flip the way I wanted it to. And I hit one of the big trees down fairway, like really solid. And I was probably like 30 feet short of the rock and to
Yep.
the left side, which was not the most favorable position. Um, so I look at Chuck and I was like, I think it's a forehand. He goes, I think it's a forehand. So I come up and I grab my drop. And what was really nice is the night before, Chuck and I were out playing a couple of disc golf holes, and he and I were talking about forehands. And I was like explaining to him about getting like the nose down on the disc. I don't even know if I have a disc. I might have one like around here. What have we got here? This will be fine. We're talking about like instead of like throwing it here and like this being the nose, instead of having the nose like forward, having the nose like kind of pointed down, so I can kind of almost go up and have the disc kind of crashing in.
Yeah.
So he and I talked a lot about that the night before, and and I was like, hey, like if I'm gonna talk to Chuck about it, like you got to do it yourself, man. So I went up and on hole 9 and threw that big forehand turnover and got it pretty close to the basket, which felt really good. And Colin, kind of looks over at me and goes, Kirby, your forehand's looking really good, man. And I go, yeah, I'm kind of a
Oh.
and I'm like, I'm kind of a forehand guy now, kind of like joking around. And Taylor Coolum's over there. Taylor Coolum's like, no, you're not, kind of like joking. And I was like, nah, I'm not, not really. But,
Oh.
I had thrown that forehand really well.
That's gotta
And,
feel so. I had one moment in my practice round on like hole 11 where I threw like the forehand through that top gap and I got it to like all the way down to like the tree area over there. And I look back at Chandler and he's like, and I could just a compliment from Colin Bryant on the forehand's gotta feel good.
oh,
That's gotta feel great.
it was awesome. It definitely like, I don't know. I don't know if it like encouraged me to throw them more, but I was like, when I got to bust it out, like I'm going to bust it
You
out. And like,
can, yeah.
yeah, it was one of those things that was like, I already can't be afraid of it kind of deal. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the things, like one of the reasons why I love playing with Colin, like when he sees good disc golf, he lets you know like that was a great shot, like, and he'll make sure like, hey man, like that was really awesome of you, that was a really good putt, wow, that was cool, like his genuine enthusiasm for when people are succeeding, which is really cool.
Yeah, 100%.
um so yeah, kind of just fast forward through the round. We get to hole 22, and I know I have a 2-stroke lead on Colin going into that hole. And I throw my roller. I hit the tree in the middle that I'm trying to miss, and it rolls up the tree and then back down, and I don't get very much distance on the tee shot. And Colin obviously throws just like a picture perfect forehand, through the gap and all that. Um, I'm up first, and I was worried. I had the straight shot to throw the forehand, kind of like down the left side, and kind of hyzer out. I was pretty far, so I was worried that if I was going to throw it, I was going to have to hit it like kind of flat. And if I hit it maybe flat or maybe too much anhyzer, the risk
Yeah.
of running towards the path kind of scared me. So I decided I was going to throw a glacier, and I was going to go kind of down the right hand side of the trees. I was going to throw like a high, and the plan was to throw it high and to throw it soft. So I kind of like flexed it out, and it wasn't moving very fast to the point where we'd want to kind of hyzer out, by the apple tree or kind of just in front of the apple tree, like kind of quickly. And I might have given myself like a mini bid or something, or maybe gotten into the
Yeah.
circle. The plan was circle 2 at the very least. So as I go to throw it, I just kind of yanked it right and a
Mm.
little and low and harder than I meant to, and he ricocheted off the trees, luckily back into the middle of the fairway. And so I'm definitely feeling the pressure, and Colin comes up and throws another picture perfect forehand right up to the basket, so he's sitting there looking nice for his 3. Chuck and I are talking, and I'm like, "Hey, I think it's the drop. I think we got to go high. Go through there." And he's like, "I think you do. Go for it." So I throw my drop, and I clip the trees, just kind of getting through. And I was like, "Oh no!" And put myself like 30-ish feet away from the basket. Luckily, didn't have the apple tree in the way. But yeah, stepped up and banged that one, which
Huge.
felt huge. Yeah, it was like one of those, like I walked away from that and Chuck is like, giving me like a fist up, like, hey, like, we're doing this. So I know going into
Yeah.
23, I got one stroke on him. Like we can't have a bad shot. Colin is about to throw a picture perfect forehand up that left side of 23. Like
Yeah. 22
he,
was his fourth birdie in a row, so he was
yeah,
just charging. And like cuz
he's
I was watching, updating, refreshing, exiting out of the app, going back in. I was like, Colin is charging. Kirby got to clutch up right now. I was like, you just got to get this last one. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Chuck and I said, going into 21, he's like, you got to get 2 out of 3, and I
Yep,
got
that's what I
and
was
I
saying. I was saying that to Roxy. I literally like
yep,
I'm at me and Roxy are like, oh, yeah,
yeah, and then so I got 21, and then going into 22, he's like, if you got to get these next two, like if you get these next two, you shut it down, and then I didn't get that one, and we walked into 23, and he goes, you got to get it, and I was like, I know, and Chuck and I had a system where I was like, "Hey man, like I want you to go and spot on this left side." I was like, "If I have a bad shot, I'm gonna be over there left." I was like, "I want eyes like
right away.
under where I'm gonna miss." Like Bernie was out there all weekend, and Bernie's the man. He's over to the right side. Bernie Smith is great, but I was like, I want extra eyes up there just in case anything happens. So Chuck would kind of go up and he'd wait on the left side all 3 rounds. I didn't throw that shot the way I wanted to necessarily. I'm throwing my DD on a hyzer on that left side. And I wanted to flip and I wanted to turn towards the holly bush that's in the
Yep.
middle of the fairway. All 3 rounds, I think I just wasn't throwing it hard enough, maybe. But I didn't get the full flip and turn. I would just kind of flip it up and they would ride straight. And all 3 rounds, I kind of pushed it kind of past the holly bush and over to the left where like a lot of that area has kind of been cleaned out. So round one, I had a really clean backhand hyzer to the basket, no problem. Round two, it was just messy. I threw a shot, got into the trees, and then threw like a little pitch up and cooked my par. So round three, I'm stepping up there and I'm too far left and too close to the path to be able to just throw like a backhand hyzer or like a straight shot at the basket. Um, I look at Chuck, he comes up and I'm like, so he's like, well, Colin's first. You got to let Colin go. And I was like, all right. Colin goes and he throws, no surprise, another picture perfect forehand right under the basket. And he's like, all right, like you gotta get it close. And I was like, yeah. I go, what do you think? Forehand turnover? He goes, it's gotta be right. And I was like, all right, man, ride or die. Here we go. So I grab the drop and grab my chalk bag and I go over and I'm just like looking at the line and it's up here and around this bush and the gap is a doorway and I know I gotta hit the gap high and I gotta hit the gap really hard and I gotta hit the gap nose down and hopes that the drop wants to kind of fight out at the end of it and kind of like ride for me. And I know I'm gonna have to throw this disc maybe harder than I'm comfortable with for this angle, but this is the only disc that's gonna make the shape that I want. And stepped up and like let it go and it comes out of my hand and I see that I hit the gap and I didn't hear any like leaves or trees and I kind of just stepped to the right and I couldn't really see it and I kind of just turn around and look at Chuck and Chuck's just locked in and he goes go flatten out go yeah! And turns around and looks at me and goes like this and I was like we're good. He goes, I think you're gonna be close. He goes, I think you're a little short, but we're gonna be close. And I was like, ooh, okay. So like short in my mind is like, okay, we're in that little bowl or
Yeah.
that kind of like
Like
dish, like
cementy area to the right. Yeah, something
yes,
like that. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't hate that because I don't hate like the downhill putt and like that kind of thing. And there's a couple of cheers out to the left, which kind of matched with like what Chuck was kind of giving me. And we start walking up, and I wasn't short. I actually went, about 10 feet long and was just sitting just wide open, like right there in front of the basket, and everybody else was like all around it. And it was my turn. And Taylor goes, "Do you want us to go?" And I go, "Nope, nope, it's my turn. I
Yep.
got to get this over with." And I was like, I could like. I went up and just like still took my time in that putt because I was still like incredibly nervous. Like because those are the kinds of like little ones that like it'll fall out of your hand, it'll slip. Like I went through my full routine for like an 11-foot putt because I was like, you cannot like this is for the win, man.
Yeah.
This is like, you do all the stuff in the driveway for this moment. Like, do not mess it up. Like, do your routine. And yeah, like sank it and won my first A tier. So it was a really cool feeling. Like, it was amazing having everybody there. Again, Chuck being on the bag the whole time, walked up, gave me a big hug, and I was like, "Yo, we did it, but we did it, homie. Like we did it." So it was great. It was really really cool feelings.
Let's go, Kirb. Yeah, incredibly proud of you, dude. Like, it's so awesome. So awesome. Um, yeah, so freaking cool. I put a little thing up and just had if anyone had any questions or anything towards you about your round and your big victory, and so got some fun responses. So I wanted to ask you some of them from that, some friends and
Yeah.
fans. The first one, kind of a no answer needed really. Why are you the GOAT? Come on.
I mean, I because I had the fucking goat
Cause you got
substitution
cause
on
you
the bag.
goat on
Yeah,
your card. Cause you got
that's
the goat
right.
in your quarter. Hell yeah. Um, this one, congratulations, Kirby. My question is, what is your favorite way to celebrate a win? And I'm sure this one is just a little bigger than all the other ones. A little birthday week win. Uh, got that there. What's your favorite way to celebrate, Kirb?
Um, I don't, I don't do much to celebrate. I usually just like to like I like to make sure that I have whatever dinner makes me feel really satisfied. So like that night I went home and I cooked myself a steak because that's what I wanted for dinner. Is like I just want like a nice steak and like just like a little side of potatoes. So like I went home and just like cooked for myself and like that was kind of my like treat myself kind of thing. Is I just I made myself a nice old steak for the night.
I love that. A little
Yeah.
comfort food, feel good. It
Yeah.
does not get better than that.
Hey, really the thing that I like to do most of all, like to celebrate is like it's so stupid, but I like to go home and just like chill with the cats because they have no idea what I just like. All four of my cats have no idea what I just did throughout my day. They're just happy I'm home. So like it's just nice to like sit on the couch and just have them like sitting on me.
That's sweet. I love that. That's really sweet. What was your favorite throw of the weekend if you had one? Or like, I think there's some themes with the forehand there. If you had
Hmm.
one throw, maybe to say what was your favorite throw if you had one.
Um, honestly, hole or round one, hole 14, my drive that I put like under the
Yeah.
basket. That was my
You
favorite
said on a
one.
rope. You said it was just on a
Yeah,
rope. Yeah.
it was the perfect throw. That's my favorite hole out there too. Like I've said that a lot.
Yeah.
It's exactly like what I want on a disc golf course is I want vertical obstacles, I want gaps, the fact that it's like mini elevation, it's a good distance.
Yep.
I love that hole. So
Yep.
yeah, that was my probably my favorite shot of the weekend, which is not I mean it's not as exciting as like, that
Hey.
final shot, but it was just the most like I did exactly what I want to do
Yeah.
perfect.
You gotta love that. And then one more. Thank you also everyone to sitting in questions. I put something on my story. I'll probably try to do that more when we have any things like this or just anytime we want to get some responses. Um, This one, when you're having a subpar round, how do you maintain a positive headspace to respond? So maybe like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean honestly like I think it's good to get it out of your system a little bit. Like I'm definitely one to, like if a bad shot, like I'll clap my hand and just
Yeah.
kind of like I got it out of my system. Or I'll kind of
Yeah.
like walk away to myself and being like, dude, like get your shit together and like kind of like talk to myself a little bit and like that kind of deal.
Yeah.
I think there's a line for it, obviously, of like what's good for you and like what's not good for you and. Positive talk is always a lot better. But sometimes just like giving yourself like I don't know, 5 to 20 seconds to like be mad over a bad shot and then it's out of your system and you can kind of move on, with what you're doing and kind of thing. I think, um, yeah, I think that helps a lot. It's just
Yeah.
like let it out a little bit because like you can't just bottle everything up all the time.
You cannot let that sit, because that's how those rounds spiral, in my opinion. So there's got to be some validation, there's some release to that for sure. You got to feel that feel. But yeah, thank you so much again for everyone that sent in questions. Yeah, I try to do this a little more and try to enter in through a weekly, try to hear from y'all. Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty sweet
thank you for
there.
the questions. Yeah, I really appreciate it. That was cool of you guys. All right, we're gonna get right into the tournament look ahead presented by Emerald City Discs. Emerald City Discs, the gem of the Pacific Northwest. All right, as we look ahead next week, it looks like we got two tournaments kind of in the local Western Washington area. We got FSO Fort Silicon Open. This is going to be down at Fort Silicon, obviously. MPO will be playing one round of Rhododendron to start and then two rounds of Northwest to follow. And then all the other divisions will be doing the opposite, obviously. Looks like it's pretty good field. It's part of the Northwest, the Great Northwest Point Series, which is nice. Should be a good weekend down there. And then the other event that's going on is the Throw Kindness. This is happening up at Tall Firs up in Monroe. This is hosted by Dips Discs. By Eric Dupinski and Lucas Lotta, so we're a big fan of those guys as well.
Heck
We're a
yeah.
big fan of the guys running for FSO as well. So
Yep.
Flexline down there is doing that. So yeah, that's what we got going on in the local area. Looks like Throw Kindness is very full right now, and I think there's a few spots open in FSO still. So if you're looking to play, get signed up. All right, getting into the weather look ahead. This is the weather look ahead presented by Swamp Cow Kava Bar. Swamp Cow Kava Bar. Just go there and drink it. Try it. I'm kind of making up taglines honestly as we
I
go. I
love
don't.
it, dude. I kind of love them.
There's no like
One
real.
will
Yeah.
stick. One will stick. It won't.
Yeah. Exactly. One of them's just gonna feel good, right? Um. All right. Looking at the 10-day or the weather forecast for Fort Steilacoom. It looks like we got a really nice weekend ahead of us. Temperature's going to go down a little bit. Looks like we got highs of like 70, 73, 72. We're at 71 and 72 for the weekend. Partly cloudy, mostly sunny for both days. Real mild winds southwest coming at 7 to 8 miles an hour. It looks like some rain's going to come in Monday, Tuesday, so that might be something to kind of keep your eye on. Maybe that Sunday's going from mostly sunny to mostly cloudy kind of situation. So kind of keep your eye on that. But it looks like it's going to be really, really nice out there all weekend or all week long. And then the same will apply for Monroe as well. Basically, nothing to worry about weather wise. Partly cloudy, mostly sunny all week long.
Mm,
Um, yeah, mild rain chance happening like Monday. So I don't know. I can't really see. I would be surprised if it wasn't really really nice all week long, just some clouds in the sky kind of situation. So
yeah.
not nearly as hot as this past week. This weekend was so hot, dude. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, cooking. It was
Yeah.
just like hot air. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really it was yeah. The parking lot was like gross. Like we'd park and we'd be walking over to one of the holes and we're like, Jesus, like get us out of here, man. This is terrible.
Horrible.
Um all right, moving right along. This is going to be
Oh.
a new segment that we're adding. We started last week. This is a 90-second break. We got to find a good name for it, but Ollie's 90-second breakdown. How about like I got one. The best 90 seconds of your day, or the best 90 seconds of your week, is coming up right now with Ollie DePina.
The best 90 seconds of your week's coming up right now.
Presented by Baka Bak Fried Chicken. Shut up and eat it.
Shut up and eat it.
All right, Ollie, can you tell us about the Ollie Open? You got 90 seconds on the clock. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Young talent in Europe is insane. This FBO field, there's so many new names I'm learning about and hearing. Tomaki, Steen, Needs. Julia Fours has only started playing disc golf 3 years ago, and she's having huge rounds over here. Huge fans, I noticed, just spectating FBO round 1 over there. Europe disc golf could be. It just seems like they got a lot of fans, and I still think there's a lot of pro stuff for the future there. Um, this is the new Euro DGPT stop, and it's great. The course looks awesome. Elevation, beautiful trees, beautiful nature there. Over in Norway, and so that it is truly gorgeous. Kristen and Fours battle in round one, neg 4, neg 5. Round 2, Silva starts putting on a putting and driving clinic with a neg 7 round. Bogey, with a bogey and a double bogey, so it could have been so much more there for Silva. Silva moves to neg 5 and Kristen moves to neg 6 through 2 rounds. Final round, Kristen takes a 4-stroke lead after 5 holes, so kind of running away with it. Next hole, she has a 3-stroke lead, so it goes back to 1. Tied on the 14th, Silva makes up for it after 1 clutch putt on 15, moves into 2 strokes going into 17. Silva just has to hit the island and basically move in. Silva, ice in her veins, hits the putt. FBO win. MPO, windy, new names to watch. There's Sarvi and there's Davidson. Prediction from the commentators is at a neg 8. Rick starts neg 5 through 6. Antila keeps himself in it at the end. Sarvi ends with the neg 9. And Davidson with the neg 9 and Rick with the neg 10. Okay, we missed out on the 90 seconds there. I
All
will
right,
finish
buddy.
up with my notes. It should only be like another 30.
Yeah, go for it.
4 strokes from first place to 7th place, so a very tight field. Round 2, nicer conditions, so better scores. Antila fixes early round mistakes and keeps it hot. Rick keeps few strokes lead going into round 3. Rick up 4 after 8. Rick had a horrid rollaway on hole 9, and that's a 3-stroke swing for Antila. Neg 21 to neg 20. Tied on the 14th, 10-meter putt for Antila to take a 1-stroke lead. On the 16th, Antila up 2 going into the 18th. Antila hits the log on his approach shot. Ricky's on the island, putting for par from a similar range of Ricky. Ricky misses off the top band inch, hits down, rejected. Antila, no pressure layup for the win. Antila with another win this year. Okay. I think I got sidetracked a little on the first one, but that was yeah.
Yeah. With those little, we're gonna punch those up a little bit. We're gonna trim them down, spin them around, slap them, see what's up. I like that though, Ollie. I think you're doing great with them.
It was a really fun tournament though. The coverage was awesome to watch. New course and tournament, so definitely go recommend checking it out. Fresh disc golf course to watch, but yeah, really fun tournament too. FBO and MPO kind of ended the same way. There's like Kristen and Ricky going into round 3 together by like 3 strokes, and then literally getting it up by 4 or 5 strokes. Both seem to be looking like they're going to run away. Literally the next hole for each of them. 3-stroke swing both ways in the FBO and MPO field to make that closer, where Antila and Silva just can go and win it. So it was really cool to see, honestly. Both really good tournaments.
That's cool. I honestly, Ollie, I really like that you're doing that because I don't feel like I'm personally tuning in to the Pro Tour very much right now because I'm really like
Yeah.
hyper focused on like me playing and like the
Oh yeah.
events that I'm playing, and then by the time I'm done, I'm watching like the Red Sox game and I'm keeping up on WWE. Where like the Pro Tour is kind of almost taken like I'm not watching as much of it like week by week kind of thing, or as much. I'm just like seeing clips online. So I like that you're doing these full breakdowns. I feel like this is a good like Spark Notes version for me almost, you know.
Exactly. I
So
don't think we need on this show to spend a whole long segment doing it, so I thought this was like a really good idea to keep it involved, especially in starting with them coming in the Northwest. Probably could have done it a week earlier, but I like it too. I think it'll only get better as well. Well, maybe one day we'll actually get within 90 seconds.
we'll see. That's the goal, but who
Maybe
knows?
that will be the name. We'll be like trying to get 90. Trying to
Maybe I mean, we'll figure out maybe real punishments afterwards, but how about for every time you go over 90 seconds, you got to do like a tablespoon of hot sauce or something. That might be kind of fun.
cinnamon challenge.
You just got like a giant container of cinnamon
The
just
rest
sitting
of the
next to
show
you.
is screwed. The rest
Yeah,
of the
you're
show
like,
is
we'll
screwed.
never. The drafts are just terrible going forward. That'd be really funny, actually. Really funny.
Yeah, I'll have to put a little spoiler thing for anyone that hasn't watched before that segment. But I always clip the bookmarks, so but that will be continuing what we do. I like that.
Yeah. All right. We'll get into the draft for this week. Um, this draft is courtesy of I went to Dutch Bros the other day, and the guy asked me, and I totally blanked. And as I drove away, I thought of like 5, 6 answers. This is fictional characters we would want to meet in real life. So, Ollie, I already told you I'm taking the number one overall pick here because I think I have the best overall answer, and that is Jessica Rabbit. She is the number. She's the best pick for this ever. Jessica Rabbit.
Elaborate.
I don't feel like I need to. I feel like she. It's like, hey, you want to keep messing around with that dumb clown of a bunny for a husband you got, or like, come on,
Come
hey,
on.
what's up? What's
All
up?
right, I feel you. I feel you. We're just gonna leave it at that. I'm going a little different direction, I think,
Sure.
with my first pick. I want to meet Aang the Avatar. I think that was a big one of mine. I think he's always nice. He's always fun. We do some
Yeah,
like fun games. I'm sure get in some trouble. Sounds like a good time to me. And
dude, that
then,
airbending would be really tight.
dude,
If you, I mean, if you, it
so
depends on.
sick.
Yeah, if you get him like early on in the Avatar and he's only airbending, it's like this is a fun like trick, dude. Especially for like disc golf and shit. It's like,
Dude,
can you
oh,
send this for me? Like
imagine
that's
I'd be
pretty
like, bro,
tight.
I need you in the tree. Just like hit my disc and give it a
Yeah,
little
just
lift up to get in the
yes.
basket. Oh,
For
bro,
all the putts, like he's
that
just
might be
working
the
putts.
best. That may be best fictional character to caddy for you. Would be another draft we could
That would
do
be
later
tight.
on. But this
Yeah.
is just what we want to meet, and so I would like to meet Pikachu. I think that'd
Okay.
be pretty cool. I've always some kind of realm of Pokemon I've always wanted to have or meet, and so I think having Pikachu's just base. Most time with like with Ash and stuff. So I feel like I could he'd be fun to chill with. Similar, we'd get into some trouble, run around. He'd help me get out of some trouble. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a good day. It'd be like having a dog or kind of a pet on a walk, but like way more based. Like just no leash, just running around. I think it'd be cool.
You would die instantly. He would shock you so fast and you would die immediately.
No, 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 because I ain't touching him. He's just gonna be my protector. Don't worry about it. I'd be
No.
like,
All
stick
right.
him, stick him. I ain't touching
I
him.
like the idea. I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
We're rocking Pikachu.
Sure. I mean, okay. Look, I think when I created my list here, I kind of I have a similar theme. So my number
I
four pick
think.
is going to be Lola Bunny. Her and I are just playing one-on-one hoops, bro. Ain't
No,
no
I
thing.
feel it. I
We're
feel it.
playing hoops. We're
I
balling
was
out.
thinking another pick from
I'm gonna
that
take her to
movie.
I'm gonna take her to a Storm game and be like, hey, you can hang, right? So
She she would. The storm could use another. We could use a rotation. Come on.
yeah. And then okay, so let me be clear here. I'm I'm bad at navigating like myself around. Like I don't know how to like I'm not good. Like I use Google Maps like all the time for everything. Um so something that, somebody that would like, probably really benefit me in my life to have somebody maybe who's like a good navigator. And when I think of the best navigator out of all of fiction, I mean it's Nami from One Piece. So
Yeah,
strictly just for her navigational skills alone, Nami from One Piece is going to be on my fictional
yeah. You're
characters I'd
saving
like to meet.
yourself. You're
Yeah.
saving yourself with that one. Survey
Yeah.
says.
So
Good one.
obviously,
Good answer.
obviously it's the
Good answer.
navigational skills. So
Good answer. See, my list is totally different, but now I feel like I gotta go. You know what? Fuck it. I was talking to Roxy about this. One of my first crushes ever. We're going Rouge the Bat from Sonic the Hedgehog.
okay, dude, I'm here for it.
I'll just meet her. I'm just gonna go stoop down to. We gotta get a pick like that. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna be honest with it. She's also can fly, and she would get me an emerald, Chaos Emerald. So I'd be cooling with that. So
That's pretty tight, dude. Yeah. What would you
and
do
then
with a Chaos Emerald?
fuck shit up.
Yeah, that's the only
I don't
answer.
know. Like I feel like at that point, that chaos would be in my brain. At that point, I'd just be like, I'd
I
be
feel
like,
dumb for I feel dumb for asking because fuck shit up was the only answer. So I'm sorry. I am sorry for that. So yeah.
is it my pick? Is it my pick again?
Yeah, you got one more.
And I don't. Are you? Are you? See, I don't know how. I hope some more people are hip to this. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Do you know that?
Yeah,
I would
I'm
like to meet
familiar.
Wilt,
The tall one.
the tall red guy.
Yeah, he's based off of Wilt Chamberlain,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
it's supposed to be Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I love
that's
him,
cool.
and I always was like, that would be my imaginary friend. I'd always want the tall homie just dunking, and I'd be my twos partner, bro. It'd be
Yeah,
we'd go to the beach and just start running the whole twos. It'd be so fun.
nice. All right. So for my last pick, uh, you know, winning these A tiers, man, I'm gonna need some security detail. I'm starting to become such like a hot celebrity in the area. I mean, like whatever. So when I can think of security, from the show Archer, Lana Kane, right? She's the best security detail.
You might have cooked me with this one. But I honestly, I'm still taking mine.
No, I get it. I get it. So, just to recap, Ollie's list, I mean, it's fine, but you got
Fine.
Aang from the Avatar. You got Pikachu from Pokemon. You got Rouge the Bat from Sonic. And you got Will from Foster's Home from Imaginary Kids.
Yeah.
For my list, we got the one and only Jessica Rabbit. We have the lovely Lola Bunny. We have the navigational expert Nami, and then security detail Lana Kane from the show Archer. So, Ollie, maybe if you can put like while we're drafting them, if you could put like the images like you do for the beginning.
Sure, I could try
So
that. Yeah.
maybe I don't know if that's too much, but um, we'll see how that goes. So. You can Google a bunch of images. Of
I
Jessica
might
Rabbit.
let you if they want to Google Rouge the Bat, I might let them Google Rouge the Bat. No,
I
I could
feel like
definitely
that's
do that.
already in
I
your
could
Google
definitely do that.
search. So,
Moving on. Episode 61. Been a fun one. Kirby, congratulations again, dude. First A tier win.
Thank you.
So proud. You work so damn hard, so it's cool to see it finally paying off. And something you said earlier really resonated. You're like at that putt, and you're like, this is why we do it. Like put that hard win work for those moments. It's not always gonna get seen right away or at that next tournament, but there's gonna be those moments where you're gonna be like, I'm glad I put those hours in, and you're just a great example of that. And you're a hard worker, so it's really great to see you get that big A tier win. Especially just like, yeah, there's not that many A tiers here, so to be able to grab one here, it just shows. So
Thank you.
congratulations
Appreciate
once
that,
more,
man.
bro.
Thank you.
Um, to end, a little quote. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, thank you. Episode 61.